Kevin Smith films kind of make me want to do this. But jokes aside, I have to say this film actually surprised me. It's not a terrible film, but I have to say I don't think it's as great as people said it is. I mean, it's obviously like a Kevin Smith film. There's obviously Jay and Silent Bob in there. Obviously, because this is the first film he made, and there's sort of that like dialogue he likes to use. But obviously, this time we don't have him offending people, so obviously I'm okay with that. Um, and obviously, it's the sort of life the clerks sort of go by, obviously from day to day. And the thing is, I really was quite surprised. I do say because I didn't like a lot of his films, and this one actually it's all right. I mean, it's not as good as people say it is, yes, but there's something about it that it feels more. You can watch it, and it's not sort of trying to push all these buttons and trying to do all these things, and like obviously before with Kevin Smith films, which has kind of been the big sort of downfall of them all for me. But basically, we have these two characters, Dante and like his friend who works at this really crappy video store, and then they're sort of the main focus of the movie. And you have all these different sort of characters coming in, and obviously see them sort of dealing with customers and stuff like that. And I know this film, people really like it, and that's fine. I respect that completely. But for my own personal taste, 'cause I'm not the biggest Kevin Smith fan. Um, I mean, I like it. I don't think it's great, but it's definitely the best thing I've seen him do. Um, I mean, obviously, the stuff obviously I find a little bit thingy about it is it's all in black and white, which I found a little bit hard to watch for the entire thing. I mean, I admire that it's low budget, and obviously he couldn't afford to make it all sort of color because it was his first feature, and I know really respect that, and he's obviously done great. So obviously make it on 25,000 on a just hardly any budget, $25,000 just to make a movie like this. That's quite impressive. Um, I mean, I like the way the chapters in it. That was quite cool. The way he does sort of different stages of the day, kind of thing, of what they're going through, all the emotions and stuff like that. Um, but it's kind of weird in a way that I don't hate a Kevin Smith movie. It's kind of a good feeling actually because generally I just find his films just too trying to be cool and trying to sort of be hip or the like teenagers or young adults and all that and adults and all those kinds of people just kind of dig it and think it's all different and new and trying to push the buttons, and that's what I've always hated about them before because it hasn't really done anything. It's just sort of trying to go to one group of people and that isn't me. But this doesn't completely go to that sort of thing with me, but it does it sort of quite well. Because obviously there are problems with it. I mean, it's not a perfect film. I mean, there is one scene which I was quite sort of on the verge of eyeballing the screen because it's just it's just ridiculous. There's one scene where um, they're talking about flaws in films, right? Sorry, excuse me. That's in film recently. They're talking about flaws in films. So they're talking about the ending of Return of the Jedi from Star Wars, right? And I was sat there watching it. I'm just like, you can't do this. I'm sorry. This isn't a perfect film and it's got flaws. You can't say, oh, but you know what? There's flaws in that movie, but they ain't flaws in here. And this movie, there ain't flaws here. I just don't understand. And it just seemed like it was also thrown in there to be kind of cool and just kind of say something and spur of the moment. And it just wasn't really cool at all. So that I found a bit weird. I have to say, I can't stand Jane Silent Bob. Oh my god. And for some reason, I mean, I don't know why, but it seems like Kevin Smith has sort of hit the thing that they suck as characters in his films, and they're hardly in this film. I mean, there's bits obviously where he cut to them and stuff, and there's a bit where they're obviously doing a beat to the music, and that's fine because they're not talking. But the moment they open their mouths, they're really incredibly annoying, and I can't get past that. I find that really annoying, but I actually did kind of get past it because they're not really in the film at all, which is good. Because, I just have this thing that if you keep sort of doing something the same and it's all kind of similar, then what's the point? I mean, remember there was this filmmaker I used to watch. many years ago, and he used to put all these same things in his films. Like, he used to put gnomes in his films, and that's kind of the thing I feel with this thing with Jane Silent Bob. They don't need to be in this, and clearly in this film they're not really hardly in it. And I like to see new characters, new things, and stuff which isn't the same. And that's what he's done here, and I think he's done it quite well. I don't think it's a brilliant film, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely the most sort of unoffensive, more true, sort of passably entertaining Kevin Smith film I've seen ever. You know, and I do like the way he's put it together. I mean, it's well edited and it's all well put together and all that kind of thing in all those aspects. It's just I don't think it's obviously got a perfect storyline. I mean, I don't think it's supposed to, obviously, but you know, it's entertaining on that basis. But I can't sort of just say, oh, it's amazing compared to all the movies I really like. And I had just watched The Raid, so maybe that's why I didn't kind of think, oh, well, yeah, it's amazing. But then I kind of put that all together in my mind and no, because I wasn't really expecting anything amazing. I wasn't expecting to like it really because it's Kevin Smith. But the fact that I did actually was quite a surprise. And no, I wasn't expecting to love this film at all. So, you know, that's never going to happen. But from what I saw, I actually was quite entertained. And, you know, I'm sure people love this film, as obviously I know, and people watch it and stuff all over and over and over again, and that's fine. But it's not that kind of film I'll be watching over and over again. You know, it was watchable at that. It's just and obviously there was a sequel made, Clerks 2. I don't know obviously what happened in that. Well, obviously I'm staying away from the James Silent Bob Strike Back and those movies they did crap. Um, but yeah. So you know, it's passable, almost sort of half decent. Because there is some dialogue that I do like. Some dialogue's very well written and it's very well acted, and they obviously play the characters are played very well. You're the asshole sort of jerk in the video rental store, and the sort of like slice of life in it, which I liked, and yeah, that's all very interesting. And I like that he's doing that more because when he does that stuff that's sort of ridiculous and just stupid and trying to offend things, it really just has no purpose to me. I mean, it really doesn't. And here, obviously, he's shown he can do it. But I'm not really sure if it's the biggest kind of thing it has to matter that I have to watch all these Kevin Smith films. I mean, they're not completely to my taste, so I don't know. Maybe if I watched another one, it wouldn't be really that good. Like even worse than this. But I don't know. He's not on my watch list to watch stuff. I just watch it because I have to because of all these films I've been watching lately. But so yeah, I liked it. We're flawed but good.